In this video, I will show you how to make a homemade pizza from scratch. First, you will want to start by making the pizza dough, for which you will need some water, dry yeast, flour, salt, and olive oil. Mix dry yeast together with water. Make sure the yeast gets fully dissolved in the water. Then, mix your flour together with salt. After that, mix your water together with flour until there are no more dry flour in the bowl and you're left with one big lump of dough. That's the indication of mixing in your last ingredient, olive oil. Once olive oil is mixed in, you can place your dough on the table to make it easier kneading the dough. Add some flour if the dough feels wet and keep kneading it. Do this until you feel that the dough doesn't really stick to your hands as it did before. Once that's done, I will weight it and separate it into two pieces. Preferably try to weight out those two pieces of dough evenly. And now all is left is to roll the dough into a ball. You need to stretch the outside of the dough towards the inside. This will create a nice and even ball. Then close the bottom by rolling it on the table. After that, you want to get a bowl and make sure to oil it before placing your dough inside. Then cover it with cling film and store it in your fridge for at least 4 hours. You will get the best dough if you leave it to grow for 24 hours. Once the pizza dough is done, you will want to get your pizza sauce ready. I'm using a very simple and basic recipe for which you will need 10 tomatoes. Make sure to get Italian tomatoes because they will give you the best flavor, especially if you can find plumbed Italian tomatoes. Then you will need some basil, dry oregano. If you can get fresh oregano, use that instead. Some salt and olive oil. Place all the ingredients in the blender. I also added a pinch of black pepper and then let it blend for a minute or so. Now, when your pizza dough has grown and is ready to be cooked, there are a couple of things you want to do before that. Make sure that your pizza oven is hot enough. My oven only goes up to 250 degrees Celsius, which is okay, and you will see that it cooks just fine, but it's not ideal because you want something like 280 degrees Celsius or 300 degrees Celsius to get the best results. You will need to mix 1:1 ratio of flour and semolina. Semolina is quite important if you want to have a nice and golden pizza like in the restaurants. Then use some flour on the tray that you will be cooking the pizza on. You need to make sure that it's completely dry, because it is possible that the pizza will stick to your tray. Once you're done covering the tray in flour, make sure to get rid of any excess flour. Once all of those things are done, get your pizza dough out of the fridge and carefully go around the corners with your fingers until you can take it out of the bowl. You want to try your best to keep the pizza dough round. This is very important because this is what determines if your pizza will be round or not. Place your pizza dough in the semolina and flour mixture and roll it around until the dough is fully covered in the mixture. Place some of that mixture on your table and it's time to stretch the dough. There are multiple ways to open up a pizza dough. I will show you one way that I found the easiest for me. Start by creating the crust by pinching the corners of the dough with your fingers. Then place it on the table and with your palm gently go around the same area as you did with your fingers. This will expand your pizza dough and make it easier to open it with both hands. Then, when using your both hands, you gently hold the pizza dough with your right hand and stretch it with your left hand. Only focus on the corner of the pizza. The middle part expands together with the corners on its own. and this way you prevent any tearing in the pizza dough. This is the hardest part about making pizzas, so don't worry if it doesn't work out from the first try. It took me multiple tries until I learned to open the pizza dough in a perfect shape. After that, you want to place your pizza dough on the tray. Try to be quick because the dough will stretch on its own while holding it in your hands, and that can lead to tearing the pizza dough. And now, it's the easiest and best part of making pizzas. Place your tomato sauce on the pizza, and you can simply use a tablespoon to spread it out. Then place your mozzarella, and that's it. You can place any other ingredient that you prefer. In my case, I'm adding some red onion and chorizo. Get your pizza in the oven and let it cook. For me it took 10 minutes, but keep in mind I'm cooking it on 250 degrees Celsius, as it's the maximum temperature from my oven, so it will naturally cook faster on higher temperatures. Once it's cooked, take it out of the oven, slice it, and enjoy your homemade pizza from scratch. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to like and subscribe.